Can you hear me now?
You hear me though? Maybe you have to.
Oh yeah, I had to turn it on. I
Oh, I
had to
got you.
turn it
There
on.
it is.
Yeah, buddy. Good morning, Oman.
Good morning. Good morning, Oman.
Good morning, Oman.
I feel like I haven't
Okay.
talked to you in 28
You know,
years.
yeah,
It's been
I
28
know,
years
bro.
since we spoke last.
28 years since we spoke, my man. Well, have you seen the new 28 years The Bone Temple?
I did see it. I did
You
see it.
did. You did. Well, let's go in general. Compare this one to the last one. What
I
did
mean,
you
it
think?
actually does feel like one story. You know what
One
I mean?
story.
Because they are
Yes.
they showed us Jimmy. Is the very first scene of that first movie. It was all sort of set up to this. Um, Which is funny because I know you also mentioned how you weren't really into what was his name, Spike, the character
Yeah.
in the first movie. I do think he kind of takes the back seat in this one. Like he's there and we're viewing it kind of through his eyes, but it's becoming more of this I don't know. You really get to focus on the Jimmy as kind of this cult leader, you know, and what all
And
that
his acting
represents.
was, I feel like it was maybe they showed him less, but I felt better about his acting this movie. Because that's the one thing that I did not like about the 28 years later
Yeah.
is I thought his acting sucked ass,
I know, but
sucked
it
ass.
also feels a little bit like a step back because it was very much the point of the first one seemed to be like I'm my own person. I guess time to be a man, and then this one was we're right back to oh no no I'm not, which maybe is the point and that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I need a
Oh,
family, and maybe
yeah.
I do need a because if you get to the progression of the end, he still is not as if he wants to be alone. He's actually
You're
learned.
right, actually. I
He
didn't think
actually
about that.
learned. Oh, I don't want to be alone. Which again, it's hard not to want. I just want to talk about the end already because it's
Yeah.
in both movies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like you're about to leave your seat, and you go, oh, okay. Yeah, the first one was when it was they introduced this cult right at the end of the movie, and now this one we finally see that they got Cillian Murphy back,
Ooh, my man Killian. Yes,
and not
yes,
only
yes.
that, he's like trying to. I like the way the dialogue is revealed. It's like this is my assumption. Maybe tell me how you read it, but he's speaking to, I guess, is like his daughter and
Hmm.
about a test in school. So you're kind of like, wait, what? There's schools? Then you learn, goes on to reveal in the dialogue that he's her teacher and he's the one
He's
giving her a test. So it's probably just the two of them. But he's trying to normalize this or, give her a normal life, even
yep.
within this scenario. That was my interpretation. I don't know if that's how you saw what was going on there.
No, I thought about it. Maybe they have like a school there, but then he said maybe he's the head teacher of the whole community, but we didn't see anyone else.
Right.
We
That
didn't
also
see
crossed my
anyone else.
mind. And I love that they brought back the music from the kind
Oh,
of
yes.
original too. As soon as you hear it, you kind of start getting pumped up. But it's kind of, again, it leads you to want more. Because what's the last lines? Are we going to help them?
Oh, we're gonna
There's a
help
there's
him.
a
And he
there's a
thought
there's a
about
there's
it.
a beat, yeah, there's a beat there, and he's like, of course we are. Because again, I think this is so much of this series seems to be about, this sort of idea of what we teach our children,
Yep,
and
yep,
because
yep.
that's goes back so much into what when we learned Jimmy's backstory. His father was like a pastor, and then when he saw his father, his real, biological father, becoming a zombie and sort of leading this charge, that totally changed the way he viewed the rest of the world for the rest of his life. And similarly, the whole movie, the first film was all about, upbringing and what you're how you're how the boys are raised and how girls are raised. Da, da, da. So I think it's really interesting that once again now we've gotten to the end of this and we see Cillian Murphy's character and how he's approaching it, which obviously is let's hope it seems to be this from a place of like compassion and trying to also do normalcy and teach history. He still wants her to know actual world history, unlike the Jimmy's characters who are teaching other just entirely just making new history for themselves, I guess. So all that stuff is really interesting if you think about the themes as a whole. But
Yeah.
all that aside, I did think sort of one. It's not really a mistake, but there's in 28 years later, the first edition, there's all this kind of importance on being quiet. Like oh, let's not bring it. And even the Bone Temple, there's kind of like they were worried a light might attract people,
Hmm.
right? And then one of my favorite scenes, he's blasting rock music,
Yeah.
flames everywhere,
Laser.
and not a single.
Not a
Actually,
single.
although now I say it though, maybe that they're implying Samson kind of like killed them all the ones in the immediate
in the immediate
because he's covered in
vicinity.
blood. Yeah,
Yep.
and he comes out
Yep.
his hole. So never mind. I guess it's sort of I guess I answered that. But yeah, yeah. What did you think of all that stuff with the morphine and kind
And the
of
thing, I liked it, bro. I liked
yeah.
this one more than 28 years later.
I think I did
I like
too. Yeah.
I liked it more, and I
But they
thought
do feel like one to me, they feel like
they
one long, it's not as if even though it's broken up,
broken up. It does feel
you
like
know.
one. It's like an
Yeah.
expansion pack,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
you're right.
first movie, an
Yeah.
expansion pack. I liked it, and the only, I mean, I can say a lot of positive things, but the one negative thing that I kind of thought was a little bit like the Jimmies. They never like the like you see the zombies, and they're the threat, and everyone is afraid of the zombies. But the Jimmies, they seem to be like immune to the zombies. Like they don't give a shit about the zombies.
Right. I was
Like,
gonna say, yeah, not only that, remember there's a scene where he's like she's approaching one in the field and does this like little
yeah,
flip and stab. That would have worked for
flippers.
me had right before she'd covered her mouth, put on sunglasses.
Yes,
Then it makes it feel like they
yes,
understand. That's all it needed in my
Stan.
mind was just cover my
Yes,
eyes, cover my then they understand the importance of it. But instead, but I think again, if they believe their mission, like they've been told that they're on a mission from the devil himself, so maybe they do think they're immune. That's why they act that way. But that's been my issue in both the two films is that only sometimes is it important that if blood touches you, you might get it. Other times they kind of forget about that.
yeah, yeah. And I thought, like when the beginning, I really liked the beginning how the main boy he becomes part of the gang, right? He has to fight this guy, and he's like just playing around. And he just cuts the artery in the leg, and the guy starts bleeding out. And I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this. I really love the villain. The villain is my favorite part. The Jimmy guy. He's the guy from The Sinners.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
looked up
Yeah.
on Wikipedia. I'm like, which movies have you ever been to? And the only two movies I've seen was The Sinners and this one.
Yeah, he's so
And
far
he,
proven he can be a very good villain.
oh my God. And he, I mean, I chew his scenes up, man. I loved all his scenes, the way he's like talks to somebody and he's like, and points the finger and it's just like the whole thing. I was like, yes, man, this is the dude, man. And,
Totally.
and I didn't get like old Nick. He was kept talking about old Nick. And then when the other character saw the Ralph Fiennes character, and I'm thinking, that's his dad?
Yeah.
Does he think that it's his dad? And then when he came down, it's like old Nick, and then the guy's like, "Do you mean the devil?" And I'm like, "Oh, they
Right.
think that the devil is talking to them." And I'm like, "Okay." And I like the way, like when he approached the Bone Temple, and he wasn't sure if he was the devil or not, because
Yeah,
he
yeah, exactly.
sees the
That's what he
Bone
believes. I
Temple.
think he believes his own stuff. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's
And
what I
I'm
mean
like,
about a
okay.
kid who's basically raised themselves, on their own, on what the world gave him. You know what I'm saying? He watched his family get slaughtered in front of him. At the time, idolized this famous person who he never got to learn was actually an evil person.
An evil person.
Uh,
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
it's all that's really interesting, sort of like, you can think about all of that element of it, or of course just like watch the story as it unfolds. But it's kind of like it's funny to me. I was thinking back on it, how like it's almost 2 hours long, and really like not all that much happens, but a lot happens at the same time. You know what I mean? Like if
That's
you're if
true.
you're if you're thinking about it's really following the two, which I really like because it's waiting for them to collide. But you're watching, the Bone Temple, Memento Mori doctor trying to sort of also hold on to humanity, in his own kind. And I think those are beautiful scenes, them dancing together, getting high together, both shooting
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
And basically saying like, if I wake, he's like, I'm going to trust you. He lies there in the grass and
yeah.
wakes up and realizes he's still there. It becomes this
It's still
relationship where
there.
he's coming back for more fans. Like, yeah, I got what you want, which is like
I got
also a
what you
really
want.
interesting way to, from the writer's perspective of like, how would we, start trying to think about healing these, or how notice human instincts and notice them being human, and like they became addicted. Addiction is one
They
of the
became
most,
a thing.
is like the human
Yeah,
element
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that brought him in. I thought that was,
Dopamine.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
really smart. And then also he's just about to kill him when he's
Kill
like
him. Yes.
moon, which I thought was a
Moon.
great
Yeah.
scene.
The zombies are supposed to be dead people, like they're undead. But then this guy was like, well, what if it's not that? What if it's just a virus and you can reverse the virus? So that's kind of interesting. But then Also, like Samson, when he was fighting all the zombies, they were like fucking biting him, and he was
Right.
like
Getting
bleeding,
blood
but
on him. Yeah.
blood on him. But he's like immune to it, and maybe he heals himself faster. It doesn't really does it, but he's human now too. So that's
Yeah.
is he human now,
I
or
mean,
is he
they never
something?
quite clarify what's in the concoction. You know, I think because that's to their benefit. The only thing he
Yeah,
tells the audience for sure is that it's got a morphine, right?
morphine. Yeah,
Uh
and he said it's a psychosis type of thing. So he wants
oh
to
yeah,
remove the
yeah,
psychosis.
antipsychosis, right? I mean, it's not. It was a cool effect because you know there's just the madness in his eyes, and slowly more and more humanity comes out of them. Which is a nice moment because that very first moment, that's what he sees in his eyes, and when he stops in the
Yeah,
field for the first time.
yeah,
He's like, I'm gonna trust you here. You know, I'm gonna see.
yeah,
You know, it was just funny because he's also got to be lonely out there. It's just really interesting. I think that, you know, I mean, I love Alex Garland, but I think they really
yeah.
sat down and thought like even to your point, like it's not your average zombie. Maybe and that the idea is not that they're undead. I mean, I think they don't. They're you know these aren't. It's not like the you know the classic horrors where bodies are coming out of the ground. You know what I mean? There's not that kind
Yeah,
of. So it
yeah,
does have to be passed on to you. You know, so I think
yeah.
you know everything we know about zombies, we think that we associate being dead with it, but I guess yeah, in this case they have to be, you know, they're thriving on human brains. Literally, it
On
looks like. I
human
mean,
brain.
they showed them this time like
Yeah, eating the actual
it was like
brain. Yeah,
Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, you know,
yeah.
the monkey brain. He was just
The
like,
monkey brain. And they didn't have more variations because the first movie, the 2080s, they had like the different types of zombies. Remember, they had those
yeah,
bloated fat zombies, but here we just cut those out. I like how like they 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 put him on the cross right upside
oh
down, and he's looking and he sees Samson coming, right?
yes,
And he
yes,
has horns, you
yes,
know.
yes,
And I'm like, ooh, that's cool, man. That's
yeah.
because at the end, because what I thought was going to happen was that I thought at the end they gonna like he's going to fight uh, the doctor, and Samson is going to come and save him
I thought so too. Yeah.
and kill all the Jimmies, but that wasn't the
I
case.
thought,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly. It
Jimmy,
always subverts the expectations in a way that
yeah,
like feels realistic instead of like, you know, yeah,
feels realistic.
that's where your head goes, which you know, I agree. I thought the same kind of thing. I was like, any minute now he's going to run in there. Also, an improved point that he's like he's Satan. You know, like oh my God, he's got the zombies on
Yeah,
his side. But I
yeah.
like this much better because it also then it shows the humanity. That's the last shot of them together, right? He picks him up and walks away with
He
him,
picks him up.
which again is
Yes,
showing that he values like the whole place there is about valuing life slash you know death.
well,
So
death.
very beautiful moment that you know it would have been too much, you know, had they shown him
Yeah,
like cleaning the bones and putting the bone on there, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it leaves you to think about like he's also honoring this person, you know, I think.
yeah.
Unlike the upside down crucifix. It's really well deserved, but also you can't help but kind of feel sorry for him. Like I said, like he is that boy you saw at the very, very beginning who's just entirely, you know what I mean, raised himself on crazy notions because he was 10 years old and the world went, you know,
The
went to
water went,
hell.
and his dad like was a priest too, so he kind of he
That's
grew
what I
up in
mean.
this religious background, and he saw these undead. So in his mind, he
Exactly.
thought, okay,
Why
the
not
devil.
associate? That's why I said there's such an interesting undertone about, you know, I'm not even sure, but careful what you teach your children, you know. Children are,
That's
you know,
true.
children are listening and, you know, that seems to be an interesting also like, you know, it's like it's funny to say that they're the future, especially when you think about, you know, 28 years later, but I think that is sort of what they're saying, especially when I said again, you get to the end and you see that the original character also now raising a daughter and trying to let her remember what the world was, you know. That's how we beat
Yeah,
them is like teach let's remember history.
but
Yeah.
also the fact that the one thing that I'm still kind of iffy about is the fact because then the first movie they had the soldier, the Scandinavian soldier, so
Right.
the idea that the whole world is fine except for this island.
That's right. I forgot about that too. I keep
Yes.
forgetting that on purpose, I think. Because I
Yeah.
don't love that. Because
I
it
don't love that
definitely
either.
that's where they definitely they're either erasing, you know, the sequel, the 28 months later, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
either like trying to erase that or pretending like because that also was about a cure, right? Toward the end, someone
Towards the
had
end,
the
yeah.
cure, so maybe they're implying that everyone else got it, before it spread. But also that last shot was like it's zombies
In
running in
pa
Paris.
in
Yeah.
Paris, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I really like that more, but instead they're as if they no, we shut it down. We
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 shut
caught
it
it
down.
before. But maybe that's because Alex Garland
He
and
didn't write the second one.
no, I know. That's what I mean. I
Yeah,
mean about these. Maybe it's because they're trying to make them, I don't know, much more of a, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that won an American audience, and this does too, obviously. They need the box office.
they
But
need the
I
box
think
office.
because of the way they've handled like the Jimmys and the says we talked about this last time we spoke, but they really want to cement it in like I think their own culture.
Yeah,
But because of that, they're like gatekeeping it from anyone to no no no. You can't make any sequels in America, you
in
can't make
America.
any no no no. It has to be so maybe that's the reason. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of bummed about that.
yeah.
I
Because I'm
I
like
like thinking that the whole world's gone. Because otherwise you'd just be like your goal you would think would be to leave.
to leave. Yes,
Not to like go join a society or like teach your daughter's history. You're like, let's get out of
yes,
here. Let's get on a boat. Let's, or whatever. So that would seem like that'd be the plot of the films is everyone trying to get out of there, not take your son hunting,
yeah.
or it's weird that you just decide, oh, I guess this is life now.
This is life.
If outside of it there's something else.
Something else. And I'd feel like the other world, maybe in the beginning they would quarantine it and not let anyone in. But I feel like after 28 years, maybe they would be like, there's some people still left there. Maybe we can like help them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, totally.
I read online too, because they asked Ralph Fiennes, they asked, okay, so you did two, what is the difference? And he said, okay, Danny Boyle, he was like fast, we're shooting, boom, 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 we're doing it. He was like going in a pace. And apparently the Bone Temple, she was more meticulous,
Uh-huh.
more focused on close-ups, and she was more like, okay, let's give it time. And I felt it showed, especially with the boy. I felt it was
Right.
the boy acted better. I feel like on in the
I think
second
so
one.
too. It paid off. It wasn't, yeah. I mean, Danny Boyle did so much sort of shaky cam stuff,
Yeah,
which of
yes,
course works, and that was in style with the first. But this one definitely slowed the pace down.
slow the pace down, and they ditched the iPhone on this one.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
They
right.
ditched
Well, because
that.
that was a gimmick anyway. You know, what I mean,
That
they
was a
always,
gimmick in it.
at least that's how I felt. It was a way to
Yes,
try to say like, look, we shot this movie on iPhone. Come see it. I wonder why this is not doing as well.
I
Wonder if
know, I know.
maybe it's just
It's
was. I wish maybe they need to come out quicker because I think there was a lot of excitement around the first the first installment
yeah,
and something's happened. I don't know. I didn't realize that the next one wasn't approved yet. Like apparently, what I mean, they made these two
back
and
to back.
back to back, and the third
Yeah,
is who is it? Sony has yet
uh,
to
yeah. Sony,
they've yet to approve the
they've
next
yet to
one.
approve. Yep,
I
yep,
didn't
yep.
realize that.
And the it doesn't look that great in terms of the box office, to
Right,
be honest.
exactly.
Yes,
So what? So
yes.
this might be the end of it. This might be
Might be the end of it. Yes, but
the
I went on Wikipedia and they said that they will approve it, and Alex Garland is writing the script right now. That's on Wikipedia, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Would you be
Yeah.
satisfied if this was the end?
No, no, man. I was so excited at the end.
There's a lot that's obviously to me seems to be the theme without ever shoving it down your throat. It's like it's a movie about zombies, and yet it seems to be so interested in
And
what we teach
and
our children.
kids
Yeah,
and
because
kids,
in the
yeah.
first film showed the people with the arrows and it kept cutting to movies and stuff. For all these reasons, it felt like again, if I were to rewatch them all now, it's like it feels like educational purposes. It feels like these are educational videos or like da da da. And the whole point of what he's doing with the characters is to go out and teach him the stuff. And now, so it's no accident that we get to the end of this film and Cillian Murphy's teaching his daughter history.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, you're right.
I'm not super confident,
This is
but
gonna be
this might be the end. And maybe that's what I mean. If that's the final line of the series, we're gonna help them. Of course we are. And maybe that's what it's about.
it's
Something.
catchy though. It's
No, it's
catchy.
great. And like I said, maybe it's something to do with what we teach our children. I
What we
guess
teach our children.
it's something about what the theme is. I guess it's open for interpretation. I'm still trying to figure that out myself, which is why I was hoping for one more chance to bring it all together. But if that is the final line, then
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I like it.
What is it that Jimmy's always said? Is it how's that?
How's that? Yeah, how's that?
If that's the final line, then how's that?
How's
Or no,
that?